Yo, what's up everyone? Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate it. Today we are going to dive in and take an in-depth review at the InkClaw Dagger Rotary short style pen machine right here in front of me. Per usual, we're going to take an up-close look at the machine. We're going to take a look at the performance. We may look at the disassembly, assembly, and everything in between. I'm going to go ahead and just relay as much information as I possibly can on this specific machine right here and these other units as well. With that being said, let's just go ahead and dive straight on into this. Now, just to reiterate before we continue, this is going to be a rotary short pen style tattoo machine. Take a look at the box. It's a very standard box right here. As you can see, it is by InkClaw. Let's take a look under the hood here. And as you can see, we have the green version of the Dagger. I'm going to bring it up close and give you a first-hand look. Right off the bat, I can see a vibrant orange RCA cord. It does look a little bit lengthy, which is a great addition as well. I do love the color and I love the length. Very, very nice there. Now, I'm going to set this down and take a look at the actual Dagger itself. Now, upon holding it in my hand, it has a nice amount of weight to it. It does feel of quality. It does feel all metal as the entire unit is cold. Now, let me see if I can bring it up close. I want you all to be able to see the textures. As you can hear here, it is a click grip. It is RCA input, and it is for cartridges. Now, this machine does have a 4mm stroke as well, and it does have an option to come with different grips. So the Dagger comes with a standard 28mm grip. You do also have the ability to get a 35, 40, and 50, in which I am also going to show you up close here as well. I just wanted to go ahead and show you the machine up close, so you can actually take a look at the textures and the entire build of the machine. Let me see here. So doing this right here removes the eccentric wheel, or the body to access the eccentric wheel, as you see. And then in here is where the click grip is at, and you would remove this and that part comes off. So we can go ahead and get to that part right now. Disassembly and assembly is very, very straightforward. See, so removing the grip like so. I'm gonna fasten that. And this is what the unit looks like without the grip here. See if I can get some more light over here so I can show you. So it's a very simplistic build. We can autoclave this part right here, which is the grip, and this is a 28. Let's take a look at that up close as well. And it does feel like it has some sort of metallic material. I will go ahead and drop some details on what this material is right here as well for you all. But as you can see, there's an O-ring and there are the balls to click the grip. Now, what I want to do is I want to dive into the different grips. And again, the assembly and disassembly is very straightforward. You would just unscrew it from right here. And there you have it. This part you can kind of wipe down as you see fit. Wipe this down, put that into the autoclave. And this is what this part looks like right here. Let me actually show you this up close because I don't believe I did. So that's what this part looks like right here. Just screw it back on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the grips right here. So just to reiterate, it does come with the 28. This first one is going to be the 35 if I'm not mistaken, and this is going to be the 40 and the 50. My personal favorites are going to be the 40 and 50, but I do love them all. They all have their purpose. It's really more of a personal preference thing. And this is the 35 right here, and this is the 28. So you can see the difference, and the shape as well also changes. And you can hear the material that these are made of. I am going to go ahead and show you all the performance as well here shortly, but I wanted to start by showing you all the unit itself and the grips in their entirety. So as you can see, this one is the 28, this one is the 35, and the 35, all of them go on like clockwork. There's no issues with any of them. You just simply, and they all click, and you can just begin tattooing, find where you want it, etc. As you see though, so if you prefer a bigger grip, by all means get a bigger grip. That's going to be fully subjective. I can't really say which size is going to be better for you or anything like that, but I'm going to go ahead and show you these grips up close. So I'm going to leave the grips out for now, so that way we can take a look at them all. The next one is going to be the 40. Forgive me there. And the 40 here is one of my favorites as well. They do get thicker, bigger as they go up, obviously. So you can see it is a dramatic difference. And they all are made of a high quality material. These grips are actually really nice. They do have some weight to them. I do like the weight. It does, that will provide me with a nice stability upon tattooing. So this one is the 40. I'm gonna put them in order, the 28, 35, we have the 40 right there, and then the next one and the last one is going to be the 50. And the 50 definitely has some weight to it. And I think this one is my personal favorite, just because I like a bigger grip. And this is the 50. This is the monster right here. Compared to the 28, that is a dramatic difference, as you see there. So this grip right here is just a monster in general. The size, I mean, you have to have really solid, like big hands, gorilla hands, or my hands I would say are a bit bigger or average size hands. So this right here is also comfortable to me. Applying it to the machine is also like clockwork. There's nothing to it. Just gonna fasten that part there. And there you have it. Just put your power supply and you are ready to go. Put a cartridge in there, and we're gonna get to that. I am gonna show you the performance. We will test the performance with all of the different grips as well, just so that way you can see it running. Again, I'm going to try to relay the most amount of information here for you all. So as you can see, this one is the 50 right here, and this grip right here, again, is just a monster of a grip compared to these other ones right here. As you can see, we have the 50, the 40, we have the 35, and we have the 28. So there is a range that would fit most hand sizes right here, and you know, you can get the, I guess, optimal comfortability for your tattooing experience. So I'm a big fan of the different size grips here. And again, they come off on and off like clockwork. The click grip works just fine with each and every one. But overall, that is basically the setup right here. So upon purchasing the Dagger, you would receive the Dagger with your colored choice on your end, with the grips as well. I do highly recommend getting the different grips as well, so that way you do have more I guess let's say versatility within your setup. You have more options. For me, I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So as you can see, there's different sizes that is providing us with a range that would fit most different hand styles out there, whether you have a really small hand, medium-sized hands, or really big hands. The choice is up to you. The options are there to use different size grips. And I just kind of wanted to show you all of them up close here next to each other, so that way you can really see them in comparison. And the texture of them is really nice as well. Like, there's a metal finish, as you see right there. The color is really nice. The color pops. All of them feel of quality. So these are the grips up close. Let me actually remove the machine just so that we can take a closer look at the grips up close without the machine. Place that off to the side. So here is the 50, we have the 40, we have the 35, and we have the 28. Man, that 50, I can't really get over that 50 though. That's a massive grip, and it does have a nice amount of weight to it as well. This 30, the 40 is also nice. The 40 is also one of my personal favorites. 40 is kind of nice. This one would be easier to wrap and easier to put an adhesive wrap around it. That's kind of personal preference as well. I mean, to each their own. Overall though, these are the grips that it does come with. Just to reiterate one last time, we have the 28, 35, 40, and 50. I will leave links in the description below for you so you can go ahead and check these out on your end. Very nice, high quality grips right here. Let me show you the tops. All of them fit nice, work like clockwork. And again, we are going to test them out. We are going to take a listen to the sound. We are going to test their performance. And I'm also going to switch out the grips right here with you all just to kind of test out the performance of these specific grips with this specific machine. So let's get on over to that. Now for this, I'm going to be using the InkClaw C-Charge, the updated wireless power supply, in which I'm also going to be bringing an in-depth review on. I've done a couple of tattoos with this thing, and this thing is very, very nice to work with. Very, very lightweight, but at the same time, very powerful. I'm going to use this for this demonstration to power this specific machine, the Dagger, also by InkClaw. We're going to pull some lines and all of that. So I'm just going to start off with the 28, kind of work my way up, and we're going to load in the C-Charge onto the Dagger. As you can see, very nice and lightweight, very simple setup right here. I'm going to use a Stigma 007 round shader for this, just to demonstrate the pushing of a needle. I'm going to turn this on. So as you can see, adjusting needle depth isn't difficult at all. It's the click grip. The click grip is fabulous. It's definitely doing its job. I'm a big fan of click grips. I never have to worry about my needle depth readjusting. But as you can hear, we're running at 7.5 volts, and the Dagger is kicking. The vibration is also minimal. I'm very curious to see how the vibration goes or feels with the bigger grips. But as you can hear and see, the Dagger from InkClaw is pushing with no problems, and this is going to be a 7-round shader. In this video, we are going to push an assortment of different configurations. So we will get to lining, we will stipple, we will do some packing, and everything in between that we can think of to relay information. As you can see, I'm pushing the 7-round shader at 3.5 volts. And it's pushing fine. Me personally, I'll never really go above 8, so I don't want to take it too high. 7.5 seems right, even 7 volts. And this charge has a jumpstart feature. The C-Charge has a jumpstart feature, but we're not going to get into that right now. Just wanted to throw that in there. Very, very nice. Very stable, very consistent. It's also what I'm trying to demonstrate as well for you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the C-Charge down, and we're just going to switch out to the next grip right here. So that was the 28. This one is going to be the 35. We're going to arm the C-Charge onto the Dagger. Turn it on, and then we are at 7.6 volts if I'm reading correctly. The cartridge, everything as you can see goes in smoothly, locks in easily. 7.6 volts. Let's see. Adjusting needle depth with every grip appears to be the same and consistent, no issues at all. As you can see, I like to hang my needle out. So this is the 35. Very nice, still very consistent. Don't notice any adverse fluctuations, and keep in mind we are using a wireless power supply. As you can see, it's a very nice machine here. Very smooth, very consistent. Let's proceed. And the next one, what we are going to do is just kind of work our way up. The next one's going to be the 40. So let's proceed, removing the 35. And I'm really taking my time. I don't ever want to rush and damage this O-ring. So I'm just taking my time in between here. So the next one is going to be the 40. And these are a bit more exciting for me the higher that we go, because I like the bigger grips. So the 40, all of them go on smooth, as you can see. The C charge as well adapts or adjusts inputs onto the dagger with no issues. Let's go ahead and put the cartridge in here. And as you can see, the cartridges go smoothly into everyone. That's just me not aligning it correctly. And then just lock it in place. We're ready to rock. And needle depth adjusting, as you can see, is again super easy, no issues at all, no complaints there with any of the grips at this point. Up until now, everything is working as I wanted to, as you would think it would. And this is the 40. This is a comfortable grip. This grip right here feels very natural to me. I'm going to check out the 50 as well and the vibration and see how that feels in my hand and kind of go from there. But as you can see though, so far every grip has been consistent. It is the same as well. There's nothing adverse, even when we move and toggle and do all of this in between. Nothing weird going on. Very, very nice, very consistent, very high quality, powerful machines right here. Now with that being said, we're going to proceed to the 50 here, which is going to be one of my personal favorites. And everything, again, assembly, applying, nothing to it, very, very easy. And I am just taking my time, being gentle with the machine. Applying it on there. See how this needle goes in. As you can see, everything is very, very nice, simple, properly calculated, and everything is nicely executed. InkClaw did a really good job with this machine right here, and the grips. The charger, the C charge as well, is just a monster. But this setup right here, the 50, is actually ideal. It's a bit heavy, so you have to get used to the weight. But this right here, this 50 grip is nice. I like the 50 and 40. Those are very, very nice. The 35 is nice as well. I'm a fan of all the grips right here, but my personal favorite is going to be the 40 and the 50. But as you can see though, the 50 grip definitely has some weight to it. You have to adjust to that. But bigger grip for bigger hands, it's definitely worthwhile. But as you can see and hear, the 50 grip is also very consistent. There's no fluctuations. At this moment, none of the grips have demonstrated any sort of weird fluctuations or adverse behaviors in terms, from getting the needles into the grip, from the way the grip is working with the machine. Nothing is adverse. Everything is perfectly aligned. All the settings upon making this machine I feel were appropriate and correct, because there's no adverse issues. And I can even really put the machine through some real use as if I was tattooing, and nothing. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna switch back over. I'm probably gonna be using the 40 grip for this demonstration, because I'm gonna wrap the machine and show you how I would go about doing that. So for this, I'm going to go about using the 40, and then I'm going to show you all the demonstrations, so that way we can see how this machine really kicks, and we could really test the performance out here real time with you all. Now for bigger grips of such, I wouldn't really use a blue barrier wrap unless it was designed for bigger grips of such. So what I would typically use is simple saran wrap, what we use to cover the furniture, that sort of plastic wrap, as it'll be more, I guess, easier to work with and to wrap the entire machine in its entirety. So what I'm going to begin is I'm going to grab the 40, I'm going to just place it on like so. And you can clearly see how easy it is to switch between the grips. As you can see, I've done it several times throughout this video. Lock that in there. What I'm gonna do is I typically like to set the ballpark of my needle depth, so that way I don't have to worry about that later on. Because if I ever need to adjust like the needle depth, it's always just a few clicks away. So I like my needle to hang. I'm going to adjust my depth around that much, just because I like for my needles to hang a bit more. So that's what I typically start. I adjust my needle depth, and once I start, I will go ahead and begin to wrap the machine here that the depth is set. So by doing so, I'm going to proceed with, again, the simple saran wrap. And what I am going to do personally is move these over here to the side. I'm going to lay this down. And a real setting, these boxes wouldn't be here. And I'm kind of just going to literally wrap it around like so. I mean, I'm not going to overcomplicate it, as the plastic barrier is temporary. It's not permanent, so it's not like this is going to be on there indefinitely. So this is how I'm going to approach it. As you see, I'm just going to cover everything as best as I can here, like so. And that's just one barrier, that's just one layer. You can double up, in which I am going to do here. I always try to, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm always looking for the most simplistic approach. I don't like to overcomplicate things at all. So I feel like just putting saran wrap like so and just kind of layering it in there like so is ideal, because I do get a nice barrier of plastic over my gear, protecting it like so. And then what I would do is, I'm not going to use any napkins, because typically I would use a napkin to create this size grip. I'm going to pass on that. I'm just going to put straight adhesive wrap, which is this right here, around like so, to create cushion, because sometimes when I'm pulling like longer lines, I'll tend to squeeze harder, and I don't want that hurting my hand. So I'm going to pull tight, and then I'm just going to kind of build this cushion here up. Right here, like so. And again, remember, this is a bigger grip, so I don't need too much cushion, but something that feels appropriate. So right around there, just like that. And then over here, we're gonna repeat that process. And someone made a comment where I wrap my machines ugly, but to me, I don't ever think in terms of aesthetics. Maybe if I put some time into, you know, making it look nice, I'm sure I can get there. But for me, I want an efficient wrapping and something that's comfortable for my hand for that session at hand. I think that's what matters most to me, and making sure that it's effectively wrapped. There's no open areas or anything like that, in which you can see we've accomplished that right here. So wrapping the dagger is very, very straightforward. And that's also why I'm a big fan of short style pen machines. Very, very nice. And as you can see, it completely changed form when we wrapped it. This is going to be the InkClaw C-Charge wireless power supply. This is going to be the InkClaw Dagger with the 40 grip. And from here, what I can do is I can get like a toothpick or something of that nature to poke a hole through this plastic. You kind of want to be careful. You don't want to do this with your needle cartridges, ideally. I mean, me personally, I would rather not, but for this demonstration, I'm going to use that. Maybe a toothpick would be more ideal. So as you can see, now we have a hole right here to insert the cartridges in and out of. Very simple, very straightforward. And now we can begin tattooing. All right, so here we are up close. We're going to begin. I'm going to zoom in, and we're just going to pull some lines right here just to show you we are using the InkClaw Dagger right here, the InkClaw C-Charge, and we are running at 7.5 volts, pushing just fine. Let's begin. So as you can see though, it feels nice, it feels consistent. I'm always, again, if you've watched my reviews, I look for, I guess, adversities or anything abnormal in the behavior of the machine upon pulling lines. Like if I have to go over, double back, if it's hard for me to pull a line. And I pretty much use the same voltage too for every different machine that I use for lining. So I am at 7.5 as I showed you all. This machine, the Dagger, is kicking, and these lines right here are nice. As you can see, they're not ugly lines either. Just go ahead and proceed again. This is going to be the Stigma 7-round shader. And I want to do multiple lines so that you can see every line is consistent. The ink is being inputted evenly because my application is the same or close to the same each and every time. So what I'm trying to demonstrate is this machine's consistency here. So right off the bat, what I am noticing is that the InkClaw, the Dagger by InkClaw, definitely has that consistency that I look for within my machines. So as you can see, very nice, consistent lines, saturated, even all the way around. Let's do just a few more here. This is the 7-round shader, so it can definitely push the shaders. I will push a larger shader right now here shortly as well. We're gonna do some stippling and then maybe some packing of black as well, just to test the essential areas up close right here, real time. So as you can see, it's obviously pulling lines with the 7-round shader by Stigma with ease, no problems there whatsoever. Let's go ahead and switch on over to a bigger configuration. So that was the 7-round shader. I want to push it up to a bigger configuration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to input a 13-round shader just to test out how it pushes under a bit more stress here. So we're still going to be pushing at 7.5, that doesn't change. As you can see, also smooth as well. Just gonna pick up a little bit of ink. We didn't change the voltage, we're still at 7.5. As you can see, it's very nice saturated line there. Going to repeat that process, and we're going to do that again. So as you can see, it's still pushing this round shader, which is in the higher configuration, or in the higher diameter, or higher, you know, it's a higher round shader. It has 13 points. So with 7.5 volts combined and the 13 round shader, it's a bit more under stress because the needle count changes. However, in terms of the performance, doesn't reflect that. It's still pushing it just fine. So the Dagger definitely can push larger configurations of round shaders. What I would like to do is I want to drop the Dagger into the lower voltage range, and I want to test out some stippling here as well. But let me do one more line. So as you can see, every line's consistent. Oh, before I say that, let me wipe rather. Very nice, cohesive, and consistent lines. So in terms of pushing around shaders, I love the way the Dagger does that. It does that fine as well. Let's go ahead and get a smaller configuration here. So for this one, let's step into the round liner. So I'm going to use a Quill 11 round liner, and this is going to be a bug pin. Oh, I'm sorry, 00, forgive me. And we're going to check that out. Same voltage, doesn't change. So even with round liners, the Dagger performs well. And I use round liners in almost every single tattoo. So this part is very important to me as well, and how it performs pushing round liners. And just to reiterate, this is the Quill 11 round liner here. So as you see, these lines are nice and saturated here. So we did some round shaders. We've done some round liners here as well. Very nice consistent lines though. They do look great, as you can see. I understand these are just lines, but this is just a mild demonstration of the potential and capabilities of the dagger itself. So I do feel like these small and mild demonstrations are definitely true and accurate to what you are going to experience on your end, should your application and technique and everything align accordingly. So as you see though, with the 11 round liner from Quill, the dagger pushes that configuration with ease as well. I'm very curious to drop the voltage down to about 5 volts. That way we can check out the stipple shading. So for this one, we're going to be using a WJX needle cartridge right here, and this is going to be a standard 3 round liner. I dropped to 5 volts even, and I'm going to check out the capabilities in terms of stippling with the InkClaw Dagger. So what I look for is, I'm always looking for that dotted line, and that right there. You see how the dots are coming in like that? That's one of the main things that I look for when I am testing the stippling of a machine. But not only the dots, the consistency, like how the space between them, all of that matters to me. The space in between each individual dot, as you can see, that's going to come down to your hand speed. But as you can see though, with stippling, it definitely feels super smooth. It definitely feels light here, which is good because I want my machines upon stippling to feel light. They shouldn't feel like they're doing too much trauma to the skin, especially with this pepper shading, stipple style shading approach. And this is just straight black here. I do use dynamic gray wash for stippling as well. We'll get into that later. But as you see, stippling is definitely approved by me with the dagger, so I can definitely see myself stippling with the dagger. Not only stippling, I could definitely see myself using dot work with the dagger as well. Just gonna do like a little leaf here. So for dot work as well, the daggers definitely can hit soft for stippling and for dot work. So for lining and soft shading with like the stipple pepper approach, I'm definitely a fan of the dagger. It definitely feels right in my hand as well. And with the 40 grip right here, it feels it feels natural, it feels comfortable. And to me, that's what it should feel like upon tattooing with a machine. It should feel natural, it should feel comfortable. Putting a little line with this configuration. I want to see how that goes. Very cool though. Everything seems very natural to me. Everything seems very comfortable. So in terms of stippling with the dagger, I can definitely approve of that. This is definitely something that I can get behind. Just let me demonstrate a little bit more. So it's very nice. I do get that peppered look that I look for upon shading, so it's very nice. What I would like to do from here on out is I want to test out the packing of black. So I'm going to load up a cartridge, I'm going to load up a mag so we can test out how the dagger packs black. So now we are using a CNC Police 13 round mag, as you can see right here. And we are using the dagger as well. So we're going to pack some black, and we're just going to see how it performs in terms of packing black. And I'm running at 7 volts right now. I'm going to drop this to about 6.5. So in terms of packing black, the dagger excels in that area as well. So I'm sure that this can translate well to color. A lot of it is going to come down to the application and approach that the artist takes. As you can see, I'm kind of just letting the needle tips do the work for me. And that the 40 grip feels really comfortable. I think the 50 may be comfortable as well. But as you can see though, the dagger is definitely packing black, and this is nice and saturated. Let me actually get a little bit of Vaseline here. Put it on so that way we can completely get an accurate representation of it. As you can see though, the packing of black is really nice there with the dagger. And we're running at 6.5 volts. So as you can see though, very nice and saturated packing black there. So I would say that the dagger is definitely capable of stippling, is definitely capable of dot work. The dagger is capable of pulling lines with larger round shaders. It's definitely capable of pulling lines with softer configurations such as 3 round liners and smaller round liners as well. You can push round liners, you can pack black, pack color. So I think that this is all around a versatile machine right now. Now me personally, the only thing is that the 4mm stroke may have an effect on the stippling, but I think if your application and approach is correct, I think that you can still get a desired effect. Me personally, I would prefer 3.5 for stippling. However, to each their own. That's just, you know, pure opinion and subjective. So let me pack a little bit more here just to try to finalize the packing of black here. As you can see, it's effortless for me to do so. I just wanted to do that little line on the side for no reason. But as you can see though, packing of black, this machine definitely excels in that area as well. I have no complaints about the InkClaw Dagger in terms of pulling lines, packing black. Let's say if I needed to, someone came in and wanted a dainty tattoo, I can go ahead and use the dagger for that dainty tattoo. Let's say someone came in and they wanted like a dragon piece with like dense lining, heavy bold lining, I can use the dagger as well. Let's say someone came in and they wanted full black and gray with like details and a lot of lines, I can do that as well. I can do pretty much anything they throw at me. I feel that the dagger is also capable of like realism if that's your style. That's definitely not mine. I definitely feel that this is a great machine all around. I definitely feel it's good for lining. Lining is probably outstanding for lining. Shading, again, that's going to be 3.5, which is my personal preference in terms of the stroke. To each their own. However, in my opinion, the dagger definitely gets a 2 thumbs up from me and a 5 stars. I can go ahead and give you reasons why. Now, it gets a 2 thumbs up for me and a 5 stars simply because of the simplistic build, and on top of that, the grip options. Having the grip options changes everything for me. That alone, you know, providing us different grip sizes is everything, because now we can really get a grip that's tailored to our hand size as well, which provides us with more comfortability, which in result can end up in a better, or can result in a better quality tattoo, in my opinion. Let me come back to the top view here. So as you can see, also the machine is going to be easy to maintain, easy to sterilize. It was easy for me to wrap. I mean, as you can see, it's just a temporary wrap. It's a really nice thick plastic barrier film. The only thing that's exposed is right here, which is minimal. I could put this grip into an autoclave machine and I'm good to go. As you see though, let me bring up the lines here so you can see the texture of the lines, and let me zoom in here for you all. So as you can see though, the dagger definitely does some nice work. I think the 4mm stroke has a little bit of impact on the stippling. However, application is everything. Overall, very happy with this machine. I'm very happy with the grips. It gets a 5 stars from me because it is a versatile machine, I feel. Now, if I didn't go over anything specific, or if I didn't touch base on something specific that you may have wanted to know at any point throughout this video, please feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. I am going to do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. If you're not, be sure to go ahead and give me a follow on social medias, as I do have social medias all under the same name at Daniel Yuck. That's going to be DANIELYUCK. I would genuinely appreciate the support. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for me, as I will be bringing more videos like this. Thank you for tuning in yet again. You have a great day.